That's the other thing. You're gonna do it.
I'm hoping not to.
I guess we still don't know. I might bring that tomorrow. I might like it.
It's too late for me to change my mind.
No, that's pretty quick. You can say your cat was late. Yep, fine. Yep, shut up. He's not in the mood right now. Hoping that improves. Sometimes people we love don't make sense, right? We love them anyway, but they don't make sense. Sometimes just life in general. Okay, so yeah, what had happened, I don't know if I need to say, but why not, hey? What had happened was, uh, when I plugged it in back to the screen, and it was being wonky to do that. Then when it did, it was kind of doing what the computer's been doing, and I was seeing it rolling, but not being me. That's only half the equation, right? And then did that like 2 or 3 times. I got annoyed and started again. So here we are. Where the thingamajig is. Please don't ask me for anything, Sonny. I'm not in the mood. Love you and everything, but right now I'm trying to focus on this and eating. Pumping myself with sugar for things that, well, might need energy for this, but that's about it. Well, where are all the one's upstairs, I know that. I don't know where the other one is. I really don't. But that's annoying. I don't even know what I just got up for. I almost do though, other than that one thing. Okay, so yes. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna give this to you because you're asking for it already, practically. Let's get toss it out of you here. Take it. Okay. For the first timers to the channel, welcome. I'm usually a bit more, I don't know what the word is, not this. I'm just, yeah. And then I got in the mode. And I'm not exactly doing anything else today. I have some things coming up, but today I'm not exactly doing much else. So it's like when I started to do the other one, I got in the mode to do it. Then when it was being wonky, I just, impulsively kind of just started up again. So here we are. Um, I'm looking for something that I'm pretty sure has fallen into the couch cushions, though. So there is that. Um, I don't have to. I can just take it from the previous one. It's just. I understand that a couple of those topics might be a bit of a. I'm not sure. Just kind of doing a couple. What I'm going to do is I am going to. I know I'm jumping a lot here, but I'm going. Well, you don't look like you're jumping at all, to be honest. And you would be correct. No, just kidding. I'm just going to paste in for the scrollers. You know, I am one occasionally these days. Now that I've discovered it, but I feel a little bit mixed about it. You never know. What kind of. There's the strange, there's the disturbing, there's the neat, and I'm just putting colder water into the one that's less cold. But hopefully you can't hear the radio too loudly. And yes, I was just in the process of looking to try and find something that I'm pretty sure has fallen into the couch cushions. These couch cushions that we have slide a lot. I'm surprised he's not that interested in getting a new one. Well, I was gonna say there's the cost, but I don't want to be too specific, But let's just say I just do a couch and wouldn't do that anyway, but let's just say there's a way he could probably get one for free. Whether it be good quality, well, I would think you wouldn't take it if it wasn't. You know, one thing you always got to worry about though is, or that is something to consider. I'm just looking for something to cushions, like I say, to the person that just tuned in. Is I'm finding a whole bunch of waters that I think I'm gonna bring to the. I'm gonna try and amalgamate them here and recycle some bottles. Um, is bed bugs. That's the leaf field. Oh, because that was the one that already was, I guess, cold. So I just got to bring a couple things to the kitchen. Okay. Oh no, I thought that was the thing I was looking for. And there's a few of them floating around, so it's kind of like, but I'm not seeing any of them. Trying to remember. Oh, that's right. I put it up there. Okay, I found it, so I can slow down a little bit here. Once I push these aforementioned sliding cushions back, and we'll get comfy and cozy. Have waters that were left out here last night, and ones that were on the couch, and get confused as to which ones I'm going to have there. Well, as long as I remember to lower that down. I just worry that it wouldn't come back on if I turn it off. It's going to be noisy out there. Okay, to have that open. I'm already kind of regretting it, my sinuses and that, but anyway. I am finding it warm though. I am. But we got cold water here. I do have the fan if I need it, so we'll be alright. Okay. Sometimes it takes me a bit of time to settle in. You know what? It's not even been 10 minutes. I could still do this for another 3 minutes. And I think that would be, understandable. For the most part. Okay, so yeah, sorry. I thought that I filled one to the top. But I didn't seem to, so. You don't want to go upstairs, so please don't be distracting and make noises. You've got food, you've got water, you've been washed, and you have the chew stick, so please go away. Love you, but not feeling cuddly. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not feeling cuddly, but here's my screen. So. Okay, so why is it that I seem to why am I not? I guess I put the rest of that in that one, and there's still some, so now I'll put it in this one. I feel like I'm just juggling water bottles. And then I guess in a way I am. But I'm finished doing that now, so no need to worry. Okay, have I done all the stuff? I have. Okay. Now I'd like that. Okay, cool. I have to kind of. The thing is with that light, it would be too bright, and without it, it's too dark. You know what? I'm sorry to get up again. I'm going to. No, you're not going out right now because it's too noisy right now. Can you just been outside instead of that? Huh? That's been hanging off the shelf, and you almost would have noticed it. I don't want to talk about that here. I'll talk about that with what's her face on Monday. But I might use it as I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, that light on. That one's already on. This one's already on. That one's not going to make a whole lot of difference. So, the other thing is it's starting to get brighter. Although I think today's supposed to be cloudy and kind of snowy. So, I mean, but again, it's one of those things. I slept well. The dog been all night. My leg is a bit sore. My sinuses, so. I just, and again, got in podcast mode, so no, I'm not likely going back to sleep now. But I can actually hope that the afternoon might be cloudy, and that might help me. That and tiredness might help me kind of get some sleep. So. I'm not getting up again. I've had enough sugar. It's just it's cooled off. And I know, you might be like, okay, I'm going to leave because this guy is just complaining, complaining, complaining. But you know what? We all have days like this, right? I mean, you know, it's just a brief, you know, moment in a, some people might say, you think you have a hectic morning? You know, at least you're just dealing with your own, you know, I don't know how to put it, but no, I mean it's just but it's not. There's no need to compare, right? Like this is what my morning has looked like. We can now kind of and it hasn't been like you know, it's just been a little bit hectic, but we can settle down now and enjoy. So. Uh, I may not edit that part out because I honestly, I like to be as organic and natural as possible. Um, I'm not great with figuring out how to do anything, and didn't get very much there that time. And yeah, you know, I'm also one that's like, well, but I do kind of like this, I do kind of like that. So I'd be like going minute by minute, and it's just as I'm kind of doing anyway, right? So I'm worried that this might make my throat a bit dry, but I don't know if I should. Well, we don't have a lot of butter right now, and I had quite a bit. I've been, kind of eating a lot of it. I mean, I kind of do anyway, but especially so not exactly healthy. But yeah, this was really sweet. So, um, maybe on the piano or the keyboard in a bit. This. Um, this I could do on the guitar. For sure. This wasn't the book I was thinking of bringing, but it is smaller. It is smaller, but it didn't have the whole night in it, did it? I'm a little bit sure about that one anyway as an option because I don't know if I'm going to pick something a little more non-denominational, I think is the phrase. Both for the stream and for I call it a gig. It would probably just be playing a couple songs at an event, but you know what? If we get to do that, that's fine enough for us, because we aren't the main part of the event, and then also we want to enjoy the lunch and the chit chatting as well. So, but we'd love to bring some music to it, and I think that'd be really nice. I mean, there may be a bit of drum chanting, but it's the season kind of music. And actually, that Silver Bells song is actually quite a nice one, and it's kind of it's a really good non-denominational choice. Um, but I also think that, especially with songs like or stuff like Christmas music, I think that people can kind of look past the songs that they. Well, it's like any other music. It's kind of hard to do that, to look past the songs that are triggering. But I don't know if I would say that something that doesn't align with your necessarily religious beliefs is triggering. But it can depend. Like I know I went through something the other day, but thankfully I was also I still don't know. I still don't know. But I think I actually meant to watch that back, and that would have been better to have done that before rolling, just to kind of give me that comfort. But because the truth is, they're both nice people. They're both nice people. And they both know that I'm a little bit quirky, and she doesn't, you know, but she knows that it happened. So I don't know. That being said, you know what I think I'd rather have this morning? I think I'd rather have tea. I know it's a little. I'm speaking of triggers. I associate it with a couple of people, and I'm not sure. I need. I was just getting into going to those. There need to be more of them, and I know I'm not the only one that felt it. But so I think that's what would be good with this. I just got this all figured out, all, you know, perfectly prop. I like to talk about right together practically. And no, that's okay, wasn't it? I should also mention that on here actually. Um, what's the word? I never know the word I want to use. But and it's at 6 to 7% and drops fast. And the way it's been finicky, I don't want to touch it. You know. What's the phrase? Um, but if there's people here that are enjoying the conversation, but I think my throat and my sinuses are going to need it very, very soon. Um, um, what am I trying to do? What was I looking up? Oh, right. Um, yeah, I can't think of the word to use, but so I'm going to get the guitar in a moment and play a song. I also want to start some tea. And the funny line that I came up with, which is very true actually, is for those people who are more coffee drinkers and either don't like tea or think, I hope you drink coffee too, because otherwise you're weird, or whatever. No offense to anybody who just drinks tea. But actually, I mostly drink coffee. But sometimes, and I lost the person. Look like they were going to stay for a while. I did say no offense. But you know, that's the thing. Sometimes people hear that and then they're like, that's just whatchamacallit thing to say. You don't actually mean it. I truly do. I truly do in almost all cases. You know, I don't mean to offend or, you know, things like that anybody for the most part, you know. Um, but, you know, sometimes I make little statements like I just did prior. But no, I largely drink coffee as well. And there was two people and they look like they, again, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell until they comment and even a few times, it's hard to tell whether they're going to stick around. But I mean, you know, maybe they thought, you know, maybe they had an experience like I had with Barb, where she said, "I hope I didn't offend you." Well, why would you say it unless you thought that you might have? And then if you think that you may have, maybe you want to look at what you're saying and tweak it a little bit, you know, or it's just like, you know, I don't want to take the risk of being offended because, you know, um, that would bother me. That would stick with me, and I get that. I get that too. You know, really, what we're talking about is tea and coffee here at the moment. You know, I mean, who knows what else? But you know, and again, like I mean, with the most sincerity, and if I do so, I am also one to apologize, even though I really don't apologize. Apologize and try and fix it and get, you know, the feelings good again. So 25. So what am I looking? Oh, right. So but in saying all that, it's because I am. I don't know what word I want to say. Uh, I'll just say this. Okay. Now, yeah. So and then as soon as I type it, two people come here. Welcome to the channel, to the video if you've been before, to the channel. Yeah. So I was just thinking. The coffee I made this morning was just kind of, I don't know if it's because I mixed two kinds because I got some from Amber in a baggie and I didn't put it all in, but I added it to the bottom of a canister that we're working on finishing, or can, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's that. To me it tastes like I just put too much sugar in it, but I didn't put, and I mean I guess that's been sometimes the case lately, but sometimes I feel like I put the same amount and don't feel that. So I don't know. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna have some tea. Oh, that's the other thing I'm gonna put here. Be right back. Just grabbing the guitar. I'm gonna make that stand out with, and maybe I am saying guitar. You know, because on the computer I don't know how to do emojis. I see that there's a smiley thing here. But now that I've clicked it, I don't know how to minimize it down again. And there might be a guitar in there somewhere. How much do I want to look for it, though, when the actual guitar is just over there? I was just looking for a guitar emoji. And I know I've seen one on here before, but I don't know if I've seen it in this menu. Neat shirt. Luckily, they categorize them. It's the one that looks like coffee, and I don't think it would make the menu go away if I select it, because they sometimes put drinks in the same category as food. And the coffee cup looks like a teacup, probably pretty similarly. I wish I knew how to... Maybe if I just click back into the comment section, it will. Okay, so we got... Okay, it's under activities, and I think it would be there if it was anywhere. I guess that's pumpkin carving. I don't see any instruments there, though. And I know... Okay, maybe it's under objects. As if the other things aren't objects. No offense to the site or anything, but... I could do better with their categorizing, right? I mean, a guitar is an object. Why am I not seeing it? You know what? I'm not, but there will be a guitar. I'm just going to see if I want to pick anything else. I'm going to scroll back up to the top once more. I want to sit back and relax soon. This is actually kind of, believe it or not, uncomfortable for my back, leaning forward like this. I know you're being so good, hey? Sitting there so good and nice and quiet for the most part. Just talking to our dog. And I'm just looking through some emojis. I don't usually spend a lot of time with doing them, and, you know, not big about people that primarily comment using them. For the most part. Okay, now I just want to find a heart. But, again, I want to do other things shortly. This is taking too long. I will have my heart here. You will have your heart, hopefully, here. I just saw a heart. And one that I quite like, actually. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Okay, let's send those through. Alrighty. Now, if only I could figure out... I thought there were... And I guess those are the... Yeah. If only I could figure out... On other devices, I think there's like a keyboard icon, and you just click it. I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing the categories by icon. Which is handy, because then you can kind of jump down to them. No, I might just have to have that there now, but I'm going to mostly follow this anyway, so. Okay, so, be right back, just grabbing the guitar. I forgot to say, and making tea. Okay, it's not that much reading for people to do. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'll be back. Oh, baby. Oh. Hey. Behave, please. Do not move. No, I worry that you're going to somehow get this. So I'm going to put this over here. You're like, oh good, he's in that mood again. Just briefly. being finicky, what can I say? Okay. Oh. Whew. I often just do it in the microwave, to be honest. Yeah, and otherwise purple. Purple's nice color. Should be red. Should be just, yeah. Okay. We'll be using the other one. I want it to show on the screen though. Is that 30? Maybe. And then, okay, so number 30. That being said, I know I was particular about the types of teeth we have, but I might just be a little less particular. Hello, Kathleen, and the other Kathy, and let's make it again for sure here, for sure. Hello, hello. Early morning association. On my mind. Just fine here. Yeah, if I can find the cup. I know we have a little cupboard up in here somewhere. That is very true. I've never, we got this cup a few days ago, or recently-ish. I don't know if that part of it. I don't know if I should put this in. I'm just going to heat the water first. And, yeah, it's true. Turn it sometimes, usually the only time I find this. Not entirely, but largely. Okay, I just have to, I know, the two things I said won't take very long. There's one other thing we need to do. And you don't seem like you're that interested in your two sticks, so I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to have to keep you upstairs right now, so you're not making too much noise while I'm doing the podcast. It's not long, but yeah, thank you. Oh. Podcast. Thing on the outside. I'm gonna have to do one. Okay. Getting there, folks. I'm getting there. Just 25 seconds. It wasn't gonna do that much. Oh. Now this type of tea, Irish breakfast. It's just a simple black tea. Not the Irish usually more exciting than that. Erin? That was 9 o'clock. I think we'll be on our way tomorrow morning at this time. But it'll be worth it. Early morning, late afternoon. No, if she says no, she says no. and I'll just try to forget it and enjoy the time there, and then never talk about it again. But hopefully it's okay. Oh, baby. Just in time. I just got back. Just got back just in time. Just in time to see you here tuning in. So, just gonna scroll this up and leave. It looks like. It looks like anyway. Maybe that's inaccurate, but that's what it looks like. Oh, but either came back somebody else here, so glad to have you here. So, just to kind of explain, I guess, a little here, it's early morning, so I'm just, taking it slow, but they're like, yeah, it's actually like I should really be sleeping, going to bed by now, because you left. At least it looks like you did. It's kind of like, I mean, but I have too much on my mind with the holidays, and I want a distraction, so I'm back. Hi, Carl. How are you? That's funny. I saw a person with a certain kind of unique first name the other day, and thought thought of my cooking teacher in high school, who was also Carl, and I don't hear the name very often, and but it wasn't her. And it was. I'm still not really sure what to make of that video, to be honest. And that's cool that you're nice. So am I. First time to the channel, I guess. Um, Interesting last name. Yeah. So you're nice. Oh, nice. Yeah. I don't even know entirely. She was talking about government and shouted something, and the part I tuned in, she was largely talking with her eyes closed, and she was saying all kinds of things, but there's a certain feature that doesn't always work, and I just didn't really know what to make of it. But what is this about? And welcome, by the way, yes. Where are you watching from in the world? Hope it won't be awful now. So, I'm planning to do some music covers, if you have any requests. And just chatting about India. Okay. A lot of Carls in India? Or I wouldn't have guessed, but cool. I have a few people that follow from India. Yeah. And we have, I don't play them. The other person in the house who's not home for most of the day now plays some various flutes. Irish, Indian, think so what? Oh, I think there's a lot of Carls. Really? Okay. I like Indian names, but yeah, I would not have guessed Carl as one of them. And the one I was talking about was Austrian. Austrian. But yeah, basically, what was I saying before that? I don't know. That's why I need your help. Yeah, want to talk about holidays, depression, if that's something people might want to talk about. I got the idea last night, maybe talking about, and it looks like the two of you have left. I'm hoping that's being inaccurate. I mean, we don't have to talk about that, and if it's a difficult topic, that doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile to talk about. You know, sometimes avoidance only works so much, and I understand the concept and do it sometimes, but in some cases, when we're not healed from something, we really have to look at it, and otherwise we'll never heal. That's Carl, are you still there? Just making sure. I didn't mean to go on so much about the names, by the way. I just kind of did. But yeah, like I say, that's one thing that if you're not seeing the channel name, Renando is, and I feel mixed about the word leading being there, but some people call me leading healing on here, and I do like the sound of that. That sounds kind of cool. And I am. I'm leading or precipitating healing music, cheering for everybody. We can all be on the same team. We can all want the best for each other, and all want people to be living the life that they wish to live, and the quality of life that they wish to live, and we can want it. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's easily achievable sometimes, but you know, so yeah, that's kind of, I guess, puts that into words. But yeah, sometimes and I adjust to what people feel most comfortable with, pretty much. Like, we can talk about the deep and hard stuff. We can talk about the fun and light stuff. You know, I mean, this is our channel, so ultimately the choice is ours. But largely, you guys can tell us what your preference is, and we'll. That's a better flavor. Takes me back to childhood already. Well, I don't know. He kind of left abruptly. Which was kind of odd. I thought, okay, somebody just tuned in. I just realized that I was actually eating something. Just something quick. Something, we all eat, right? I don't, actually. Well, some eat more than others, but I was just getting a little bit of breakfast in, uh, and I'm at such a distance, and I'd try to be polite about eating on camera, but sometimes the two happen at the same time. So I forgot it out on the counter though, after I made my tea, which it's not that I wanted to see if it was hot enough. I wanted to see if it was sweet enough. And I don't drink a lot of tea, but I'm still slightly under the weather. Slightly. I'm mostly out of, but my sinuses are still, and my throat get a little bit sore. I know some people might be saying, do you ever think though that it could be because of all the podcasting you're doing? No, it's because of the living I'm doing, which includes podcasting. Now, if I wasn't podcasting, I'm home by myself right now, and I'd honestly probably stop for more. So, rather do it with others, it's more fun. Depending on the others, of course. Well, yeah, but. Not up. The longer it's in it, the longer it'll be. But black tea doesn't really have much of a flavor, to be honest. I guess it does a little bit, but I don't like it when it's too strong. I think that's what it is, so therefore I shouldn't leave it in there too much. Oh, we got a third like. I don't think that was already there, so I appreciate it. And yeah, so I wasn't sure. I was getting mixed feelings from the person who had already commented. Because they seemed to have left. Now, it could have been what I was talking about. It could have been, it's true. But the other person just now seemed to, they didn't seem to stick around very much. But they obviously like something about it, so I'll count that as a win. But there was something else that didn't sound quite real. But I mean, you have to kind of expect that a little bit on here, I guess. But do you? Oh, do you? I'm gonna pick that one. Part of me would love to be doing a song when the next person tunes in, but honestly right now I just need to slow myself down a bit. Just, wait it out. I've got the guitar here. I don't have a pick. It's with the other guitar. And since I'm going to be going out with it tomorrow, I want to make sure I have it. G doesn't play guitar. He sometimes has picks in his pocket, but I can't count on that. Since the dog's upstairs, I can leave that there. I'm just going to very, 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 very quickly get something from the kitchen and blow my nose. Huh. That's a little bit concerning, actually. I don't mean to. I did come into the other room, but you're probably still for me doing that. I don't mean to be gross, but it's a human function, and nobody seems to be here right now, so I'll say it. And we're 40 minutes in, and I apparently need to still do this. I had a cold, and there was a certain thing that kind of was just alluded to that had been lingering. So the sore throat's still coming back a little bit. The sinuses. Part of me thinks it's this time of year with the heat on, and it's just a little bit dustier and drier inside. And you know, part of me thinks it's just that. I don't think I'm going to like this one. I don't like the shape of it. There's too much rough edges because, you know, it wasn't designed to be held with the guitar stick. Oddly enough, these ones are good because they've got a tall top to them. Let me just grab a couple options. Most of them are great though. That's a good one though. I'm just going to switch this one. Pretty much the same as this one, but yeah. Almost exactly. But, so really it's just a spare. But yeah, so basically the mucus was lingering for days. And then it seemed to kind of clear up a bit, but the sinus is still a little iffy. And then it seems like it's kind of back to that. Part of it is possibly all the talking. Maybe. I don't know. And I don't know what DVD is. It sounds like it's music, but that's definitely not what I have. But somebody thought it might be that, and they might be right. Now, I have misplaced the thing that I finally found earlier. I tell ya. Did I go out there with it and then leave it on the counter? I know. I did sit down for about 15 minutes, didn't I? At one spot there. Believe me, I don't really want to be jumping up and down all the time. Happy, joy. Ugh. Okay, got it. Now, please tell me the tea does not already need to be reheated. Actually, didn't I? I think I did. I did heat it up a little bit more from what it was. And actually, when I do drink tea, it's a little bit sweet, but it's not bad. Not bad. And I can always, I know it's people water that I'd rather drink as water, but I can add a bit of that. The rare times that I drink tea, unlike coffee, at least these days, I don't mind drinking it cold. I prefer it hot though, and with my throat and stuff, that it would prefer it hot too, I think. Or at least not cold. Yeah, no. But possibly even just simple black tea, what's in it is meant to be, I don't know, I think it's a cold water kind of morning. That's really what it is. And I might not eat all of this. It's like I ate the interesting center, left the edges for you. Now, one other thing I was looking for here. This will do. And this is the other one. Perfect. See, the day's getting better already. just putting lotion on. I think you noticed that, but just in case. Not that there's anybody watching right now, and we are 45 minutes in, but but yeah, that cooled off really fast. And if it had been warmer, it would have been great. Even just a little warmer would have been lovely, darling, lovely. Wow, it's almost 9 o'clock now. This is about when I had said, what's her face? Who may have been, knowing that she was gonna, I don't know if she goes at the same time every day, which is kind of later afternoon our time. Kind of probably right after she might see this. Um, to chat and have a topic. Very good person, though. Um, but and before that, she might just be trying not to be online, or she might be like trying to prepare herself for doing hers. But hopefully, she might tune in. There's nobody here right now. I'm very tempted to heat up my tea. I kind of like to be drinking it. I know I said I don't mind cold tea, but I said I'd rather not. Oh. You're right there if anyone's there. Well, technically, the other location I'm trying to do it for 32. Huh? What? No. What? No. I might find this too thick. I don't think it's as thick as that one, though. I've been getting these kind of upper side, I don't know what they call this, leg pains. Mostly the right side, but kind of a bit of both, I think. And I'm not really sure why. But I just felt like I needed to prop myself up a bit more. Okay. Honestly, I'm not too sure if I'm still hungry. But I am very curious about that. I think it's cream cheese. And it's good to have, even if they're sweetened, it's good to have like they're pieces of apple and the apple jelly, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes I don't like that kind of thing. Not minding it with this. So. Maybe there's other things I like. Well, it's not in my brain. What was her name? Although, what was that guy's name? The agent? Something like Carl. I feel mixed that I did that, but he didn't stay. He didn't stay, so I don't feel that mixed. No, he didn't even stay very long. It looked like he was going to. I kind of actually feel a little bit misled. Rightly or wrongly, I do. So. Oh, yes. So, good day. And I am just kind of slowing down for a few moments. We can still chat. And then I'm going to do some music. If you have any song requests, feel free to put them. I guess if I'm trying to get myself to a spot where I feel like doing music, you know, where I have the energy and I don't feel too congested, I probably should stop talking. Especially since there's nobody here right now. Now, technically, I've been talking a little more than 50 minutes because I had started another one and then the device was being a bit silly and I had to restart. Although there was that one that was kind of like, sometimes you want to be something. He's like, if I recognize you, okay, if you want to talk to you, that's right. So, gonna, yeah, we could talk about whatever. You can ask me to sing whatever, and if I know it, I'll or sing it and or play it. But it looks like you left, and you kind of have to stink around for that to happen. Well, I could just do it, but it's not as motivating, and there's nobody else here at the time. I actually saw somebody else, doing nose stuff in his video, and so it was interesting to see kind of what that looked like. Just from somebody, I mean, not that I've never seen it before, but he kind of did it a little bit longer than I think I ever do. Like just kind of dabbing it, but I mean, if he felt he needed to, I mean, I know I use that stuff a lot. You know what I mean? So. Get myself into the mode to do this song, I think. 857, okay. So much, it's all in the center, and then the edges are so dry. I think that's cream cheese. It seems like cream cheese to me. Kind of. Sort of. Like churned or something. I don't know. I don't really eat cream cheese very much, so I couldn't tell you. Or it might be butter, but I don't think so. It'd be a lot of butter. No wonder people struggle with their health. But I'll keep eating it. Because that's what I have. As the meals are kind of already knocked out. Yeah. So, yeah. So, oh, I forgot to. There was another thing that I actually thought of before thinking of that I forgot to set. Oh, and to let chat show after, but I appreciate during. I guess that's actually been the case for a lot of the ones in the past 2 or 3 days, though, because I've not been able to do them on the laptop where they seem to. The menus in the setup seem to be more obvious. You can kind of almost bypass them without even really realizing it, unless you're being very mindful, I guess, when you do it on the cell phone. So, yeah, I just put a little comment there about the couple of things that I meant to do. But, like, the live chat still works while rolling. So, at least there's that. So, yes, if there's something you'd like to chat about, I know I have a few ideas, but you're welcome to suggest something as well, or songs. I'm just also pacing myself. I like to keep the momentum going, especially when there's somebody here. But it doesn't, even though I'm the host, it doesn't have to be all on me to do that, and I've been rolling for a bit of time. So, and about 20 minutes prior to that, when the device was being wonky and I restarted. So, and it's early and I'm slightly under the weather. So I'm just going to slow down. Hopefully you'll want to say something. If not, I invite you to either try to step out of your comfort zone with that, or at least grab a beverage, maybe something to munch on or whatever, and then come back and I'm trying to get myself in the mode to doing a song. Tomorrow's a new day, and I really look forward to it. There's a question I could ask, a topic. Is there something that you're looking forward to in life? I know right now is holiday season. That may not be the answer. Leaving certainly wasn't. You're like, unless of course, because it looks like you laughed. Unless of course it's like, yeah, I'm doing it today actually, and I gotta go get ready. I gotta go. I didn't realize it was this late. Could be, could be. Why do I keep misplacing this? Well, tell me why. Okay, keep getting under that big book. Okay. I almost feel like I need the music stand. I kind of don't though. What's this first? Half a cup of coffee, a bit of water, and almost a full cup of tea. With no thoughts of when somebody tunes in, I think they're gonna hop into a song. You know, they're like, "We're here with you. We're here with you. We're letting you do your thing. We're enjoying being here. Um, we care about you, and yeah." But just remember that yes, whatever you're doing has worth, live streaming or not. Um, the other Kathy says absolutely. You know, whether you're talking or singing. You know, so some people maybe more prefer the music, some the chat, some both. So just do your thing. You know, the right people will appreciate it. The other Kathy says yes. Sometimes that takes a lot of patience and dedication and time, but you've got all the essential things that you need for that. We hope that you get an audience, you know, for your video. And we aren't miracle magic workers as angels, but we have a little bit more ability. So we're you know, we're trying to nudge people that we know from the other side to come on YouTube, for instance, and you know, and click certain tabs, whether they do so or not, as on them. Okay, okay. So I'm gonna have another Riva moment then. A Riva. Possibly, possibly. But let's start with a song. Although, I'm just noticing something. I still think it's a good choice for tomorrow, but I didn't know that it was from a movie, and I don't know much about the movie, and I'm not sure about doing the song then. Now I did have another. Oh, it was just that book? No. Oh, right, it's down there and it's not in it. Is that? No, I think it is, though. It's not in this one. Uh, yeah, I feel fairly confident. The other one has the intro, though. That's the thing. And they told, you know, I don't know, but, you know, we don't age when they were pretty happy at the age that they were at. They may have had some health problems. They don't have those anymore. But they were pretty happy at the age they were at. And I sense that Miss Lehigh says, you know, I actually was always a very energetic person, even as I was getting older until I got sick. She says, so yeah, that fits. I fit that bill. Um, she says that um, right, and it was in this book, but for some reason I got taken up. I really actually want to look at this book too much. I think I do need to do something, and I'm making associations with whatever. But yeah, so she says that she was pretty energetic, and that even though she, only lived into her 50s ish. That's actually how she said it. So I don't know if that means 60s ish or what, but um, 50s, 60s. She's like, what's the difference, really? uh, you know, but one just said to the other, but I don't think either of us really did much in the way of live streaming in our lives. That's, they say a little bit of social media, they both say, but not, and watching stuff occasionally, but otherwise not really. Okay, interesting. So at the I almost want to give myself a little extra time, but I don't think I'll need it. All right. But I feel like I shouldn't do that. That is a big song. I don't think I'm up to it right now, to be honest. So actually, I don't know what music I'm doing. So I'm just going to add that to it. And hence you're not here around us. Actually, I'm gonna grab another water. Okay. No, I was just doing that thing with the water, so for some reason, I didn't check this one, I suppose. Oh. You know what, this one might not be bad. This one's really warmed up, I think. Let me try it. Yeah. I don't like room temperature. I mean, I'm glad that I have water to drink. I do. But I'm a little bit particular. And I mean, it's not an uncommon way to be. You know, and it's not the worst way to be. Just like in the community. You know. There are worse things I could do than want my water cold. It's true. I do enjoy that song. Kind of a fun song, though, I must say that much. Too bad I don't want to do it. Like I say, kind of because of that, and kind of the theme in general that it's from. And I might get stereotyped if I did other. But what I could do, though, is noodle around on the guitar with it. That way when someone tunes in, I'm playing guitar, and then we can go from there. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, actually. Okay, then, let's do it, eh? Let's do this thing. Oh, I'm so tired, though. Like, seriously. This morning. I guess that's what it is. I don't know if the chording is all that interesting in that song or not. It sounds like it could be. Even though it's a slower song, I think it could be. The hard part, yeah, is knowing that there are lots of lonely people out there that would just love to have somebody to talk to. And they just need to find this. YouTube, please find me lonely people. And I don't mean, you know, if anybody sees this far in, I don't think I said the skip ahead part in this, but if anybody sees this far in, I mean, that would be a miracle. I mean, I'm not meaning for that to sound wrong at all. You know, I just, people that are looking for someone to talk to. I'm here for it, you know, that's all. Uh, what to do with those clips? I tell ya, I am looking for a four-leaf clover. No, because I relate to that. Yeah, we're both Irish, aren't we? She says. I'm looking for those bread clip picks. Nobody's here at the moment, but that's what I'm looking for. Is this the one I just took out? No, this is. Okay. And I don't know where I sat them. I've got too much stuff on the couch. It's true. But I'm moving the stuff and still not seeing it, so I have to go find another one. And there was a shortage of the decent ones. I might just have to, if I keep it over here, or put it over here even, they'd be like, why did I leave that there in the way? Oh, right, I wanted to put this back. There, figure it out. This is starting to, it's going at a slow pace, but it's starting to grow fast, so let's try and catch up with it. No, I'm going to have to bounce it up a little bit there. with all the good. That's fun to play through this one as I thought it would be. This is opening fast. Yeah, that one's funner to play, I will say that much. Sounding good, buddy. Wait a minute. I'm pretty sure sister-in-law will not use the word buddy. And I'm pretty sure that I don't know about Lehigh, but no, that was me. It's Ray. I'm here. I know I'm a day early for the big fun event. I wouldn't want to distract you while you're there, but I'll be there with you guys. Don't worry, and sharing in the moments that you're having. Others of us will be as well. That's nice. But and I know, even though that would really trigger because of well, most of the time, but nobody else uses it. It's not what she used it. I actually quite like it. You can push this if you'd like. Sure. Okay. So let's see here. Welcome, welcome, and let's do this. I'm gonna have to speed this up just a smidgen. Scroll it down. As soon as I hit the first chord, you're out of here. You're like, oh, it was an A? No, don't like that. Anything but an A from a Canadian, of course. I know, eh? Has it stopped scrolling? I mean, I stopped playing, but that's not why it stopped scrolling. It did. I'm just gonna slow down a little bit. Slow it down. Da, 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 da. Actually, see if I can find that. Is it? Yeah, it could be him. And now I have to do that and close that and make it bigger and bring it over here. Maybe I should start with the second chord then and sing the first part, but I'm kind of not planning to sing this one, both for my voice and also because of the song that it is, but I thought it might be a fun one to noodle through, so come and canoodle. But I'm saying it. I really do appreciate my English here, but obviously that's not enough. I need the physical and I need the YouTube community with me, It's, and they would understand me saying no offense and meaning it to that, It's like, Ray says, yeah, it's not the same, is it? It's still not the same. We would give anything to be with our loved ones in person again, but this is what we have. I still think it's really cool that you can sense us. I think it's really cool and really special. And it will always be important to us. Likewise, I'm not meaning to say otherwise. She's like, okay, good, just checking. But no, we all understand. And I'm sure you all do too. Like, that's one thing I never really noticed is the comments being in front of me when I'm doing it on here. Well, a lot of times, because until it stopped working on that device, I may have had them up to read them on here, but it wasn't recording on here. So I'm really just not used to doing this on the cell phone. That's really what it is. Okay, it stopped scrolling again. It's like, yeah, you're just waiting for a viewer, aren't you? You're taking a breather and having a sip of water, aren't you? Are you suggesting something, are you? Which one said it is what I'm trying to figure out because they're sitting right next to each other. They both have grayish hair, and it's like it gets communicated to my mind before I process who said it sometimes. Who's on first? Because one of them said, yeah, don't be too suggestive, eh? Yeah, her name ain't Sandra. And that's just a bit of irony. He says, I know, because it is. Is what, Sandra or irony? Sandra, right, of course. I actually like that name. Julie Nelly Rickle, pretty good too. Nobody's here, so. That way or the other way? Whichever you wish, whichever you wish. You know, remember, we just want you happy. We want you well. Humans can make things really a struggle sometimes, but much prefer to see our loved ones happy and well and doing the things they love. So on that note, there's that E again. It did the same thing. I'm almost wondering if there's something to that. Okay, I think the spacebar pauses it. Okay, I'll do that. And I don't think I know A7, so, and it's still an A, so. It works just to stay on the A, to be honest. It is true though. You know what it's actually making me do? Making me think, should I do this song? That's what's really making me think. Oh, is that from the same musical? It's from The Sound of Music. Other than that, I thought that. Wow, that's interesting that there's a couple of songs from that came to mind then. Trying to think. Yeah, I'm sure that I think I did it a couple times. I think that I did it once or twice. I don't know if I want to do it now. And as far as whatchamacallit, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that either. Nobody's here to wonder about that, but just do the song. It'd be funny if somebody tunes in and heard me do it before. Like, is that the only song you ever play? Sometimes I let people give me ideas. Don't get any ideas, just give them to me. Okay, it's kind of sunny right now. I hope it clouds up. It goes off early afternoon, maybe. Come back. I would not sleep through the evening, to be honest. Not sleep through the day, to be honest. That's actually interesting. What was that? So A flat, B flat. Okay, sorry. E flat is the same as a C. B flat is the same as a G. Seems to say a few more chords here than it does here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if that made any sense then. I just know that I know some of them on the guitar and the sharps and flats on the piano. I've never heard them on the guitar, really. Just pick other versions of it. I understand, and I think that I remember I did it. I filled one bottle with the other. I didn't think there was much room in that one, but I must have done it the opposite of what I thought I did. So I'll take this one here, and we're good. All right. Where's everybody? This is not, at least not a big pellet. Plus, I have socks on, so. Great jokes. Awkward silence. What? And the two Kathy's almost in unison go, won't he play us some music? If you can suggest to me how, like, it's already great that I can sense you. It's not like, oh, my loved ones have passed away, I wish they were here. I can sense they are. She's like, yeah, so what's the problem? The problem is you guys passed away. I mean, I mean, you're like, oh yeah, sorry. And then the three guys come in, JP, Jason, and Cole. Sorry. What's going on? Did we miss anything? Everybody's like, not really. But I think maybe we just needed to interact with him a little bit, and hopefully entice him to do music. And Jason says, I know there's a song he always thinks of when I'm around, which I'm sorry isn't often. I do. And in fact, I would still do that one tomorrow, I think. I've been a bit unsure. I'll have to see how I'm feeling, because it's a big song. And also, I mean, I would hope that I don't have to preach being loving. But it is one of my favorite lyrics of that one song. And the first one. I could say, do people want a bonus song that not so much a seasonal song, but it fits in with this event? And then maybe do this one. Now, from doing it twice in 1 week, but um, Colton says that he kind of likes that idea of looking at each day as its own day. You know, not looking at it so expansively, and he doesn't answer. And then JP and Jason are kind of being playful. They're like, we need more seats here. I see you got something on. um, well, you guys are known to kind of float, right? A little bit. Oh, so you don't want us to be comfortable, they say? I'm sorry. I mean, but they also, from what I believe, or what I know about them, is they don't really, like, kind of like dogs a lot of the time, you know. If their owners have clutter issues and they have a lot of stuff on the surfaces, um, they'll likely lay on top of it anyway. I feel like angels are kind of the same way. So, who cares if there's stuff on the couch, you know? And there was somebody briefly there for 2 minutes. They're like, you're right. Hey, buddy. Hey. It's for horses. No. But okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a pretty good number. So, let's see if you can name this song. I'll start with one that's a little less obscure. Then I'll do one that's obscure. And then what was the other one that and then I'll do song request if you want. And then, yeah, that one's kind of obscure too. But I've played it before on here, so that might be helpful. I've played them all on here before, actually. So, first song. Let me just see if I can remember the chords, because I always do it by memory. Actually, I'm going to do these slightly in a different order, just because my head's telling me to. So, okay, let's see if you can guess what this is. Turn auto scroll on. Sorry about that. Any guesses yet? It's a little bit of a quieter moment at the moment, but there's one of you here, and I really appreciate it. Pause that. As long as I do the full song, even if not in order. As long as I do both of them, I can always keep it low. For me. I've done that thing with that thing again. I'm gonna try a name that song thing in a moment here. As soon as I can. I keep putting it under the book. As long as I think it's because I don't know. I don't want it to roll. It does prevent it from rolling. It's true. But let's rock and roll. Well, not necessarily rock, but if you'd like to suggest some. But see if you know this song. I'm not gonna sing it, because that might make it too obvious for the guessing portion. So like, well, I don't want to guess. I'm happy to sit here and listen. I mean, that could be the case. So, well, there's no one here. I think I'll play this one because it's a hard one. It's a deep one. It's a little less fun, but relatable in some ways. not just for me probably, and yeah. Slow the speed down a little bit. Sing your heart out, sing your feelings, feel the feels. It's okay, bud. Today is a day of healing. Tomorrow is a day of celebration. Every day you can celebrate, but just sing. Lately it seems I've lost inspiration. Feels like it's miles away. Just ran quick to the day, right to the night time. God takes every fight. I know I'm holding on to what's still left of me. When the welcome, when let's go faster. The light you have left, you're in your variety, and it now it's going too fast. Just slip through the best of your life. And I knew when day in the day, lost the fight inside of you. Hard to be strong, me stronger, prisoner in my own skin. I'm not good on my own, I need to be cared for, someone to help these days begin. And I got that, thank you. I almost got that, but I find out how to turn this dark into light. I feel like there's a key change. Maybe not. When the one of those years when you're running from the truth because you might find. When you're beyond repair, you know who's there. When our home consists of only you, is there anything worth holding on to? Maybe tomorrow my heart will awaken. Find what I've been searching for. But today I'm tired and running out of strength. All I know is I can't live like this anymore. When you're so far from home, when you've lost the signs of hope. First salvation started feels far away. I don't know why I did that, but it paused. And then it bounced to the top. Melodies unclear. And there's nothing inside of you. There's something worth holding on to. 'Cause I will still be holding on. Worth holding on. Now, tomorrow, people may or may not. If they're eating and busy, not everybody will. He says, uh, uh, GP says, but you'd be okay with that, right, buddy? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Okay. And we mean it, you know. Just because you're doing it once this week does not mean that you won't get to play it again. He says, we know how your head works. And although you have a lot of run through your mind, it's not. And he stops and he's trying to find the words. Ray almost speaks up as well. Colton's just watching. Jason's just watching. And I feel like the sister, Kathleen, is not supportive of you and what you want to do and think to feel otherwise. To get into those thinking patterns that, as my brother often says, aren't necessarily helpful. See, I don't think I don't feel like I would have thought that on my own. Or I would have, but I wouldn't have been able to talk myself through it like they just did. So the other Colton says, so yeah, back to, whether anybody tunes in or not right now, whether you do it today or not, does not mean that you won't necessarily get to do music tomorrow. So, that said, I'm going to do another song. Feel free to try and guess it. I won't sing it at first, because that would probably make it obvious. But we'll see if it's obvious anyway. And, yeah. Real motivating, though, honestly and truly. Somebody tunes in, and as soon as I pick up the guitar, they're like, oh, it's a guitar, never mind. Oh, but either came back to somebody else here, so here we go. Don't like the C chord or didn't like the D chord, just kidding. The other Kathleen stopping me for a moment. She's saying, I know that I've gathered and sensed that there are many reasons why you guys, struggle to get gigs and musical opportunities. And it's true that some of them aren't your fault. You don't drive, you don't drive. You don't like bars, who can blame you? Necessarily. She says, we're just trying to prep you for that gig tomorrow, actually, because, if we get to play, because she says, you don't get them as often as you deserve to, as we say, as you are thinking. And, but I want to kind of I appreciate what you're saying here, and you probably say similar, but, he's going to improvise, and the truth of the matter is that, when it's something like a performance where I know that there's actually people there, like, again, no offense to the Angels, but when it's something like a performance when I know that there's actually people there and I need to focus stronger, Ray's like, no, I think we all get that. We all understand that. Live streaming is one thing. This is, what you're, hoping to do in life in general is another thing. That, trying to think of how to. Basically, we just want you doing music. We want you doing music. We want you running through some songs that you might get the opportunity to perform. You got the opportunity to perform them here on YouTube right now, she said. So, why don't you do that? So, but I want to see if you can guess this song before I start singing the lyrics. So. I think it's obvious, but I know the song in my head. I want to give you time to guess. I was just about to start singing it. The whole song is pretty much that, except for found out. We may have mentioned the song, or no, I think I just did it for a spirit once at the location that I met him at, which was quite nice. He's like, "Can you doing it for me now? Now, how about you sing it?" Person was that was to show you that somebody enjoyed your playing for a minute or two. Didn't really want to play the name the song game. You know, other people might. That person didn't. Now, how about you sing and play the song and see how that goes for you. Man, if this is to lead up to this being a really great and lovely podcast and worth it after, you know, mostly nothing happening for an hour and 45 minutes, then that's interesting. Why don't you guys do that more often, but be a little bit faster? We got here within the hour, didn't we? I don't know, did you? I guess you did, eh? But as far as the answer, I mean, Kathleen says to the others, we told him, saying it to them, interestingly, which is, again, very specific. She's like, we told him we're not miracle workers. We could try and nudge our loved ones, but, yeah, you know, the rest is up to fate, really. Now, I didn't do the full song. Remember what we told you, Princess. Okay, so here we go. Where he says, you know what? Some people may just find it too loud. It's just another guy playing guitar. But you are worthy, my friend. And you are worthy of appreciation for your skills and your talents and for the wonderful person that you are. And we want you to realize that. And she says, even if others don't. But you know what? Get singing. Get them feeling it. And see how it goes, man. The person's like, oh, it's him. He's annoyed me before. Not intentionally. I mean, they didn't say that, but I wasn't playing music necessarily then either, so maybe this will be more lovely for your ears. Filling with light, more sunshine than the creature as a spirit. The only people who are people. Live stream, there'll be flute with this. doing a song. There was two of you here, and I just wanted to express, but I think I know the one that stayed is Thomas. How much I always appreciate you being here. How much, even if they weren't saying anything, it actually almost made me be, to know that somebody wanted to hear it. I know but yes, you have Colors of the Wind. You have that correct. I don't know if I want to do this other one again. Let me see, what else did I have open here? I'm going to do this one. Were you here earlier? Are you just asking, or were you here when I said guess the song? Uh, um, yeah, there is also something else that's transpiring within this video that I don't know whether I should tell you about, but I think I'm going to just do another song. I feel like I should quickly rush out of the washroom before I do so, though, like very quickly, under 5 minutes. I don't know if anybody's, and don't forget to like Thomas and the other person too. You enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad. I want to do something else that you'll enjoy too, whether you know it or not. The musician that does this song, he was in another band, then he was a solo musician. He's quite popular with both. I don't know if this song is, though. So if you give me just 2 or 3 minutes, I'll come back and do it. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a like, and I really appreciate you here. It's been a bit quiet. There's 2 of you here, though. And I'll be right back. Just need to do this. Yeah, this is right over there. Toss it around. Yeah. Tell the people that are watching. Apparently, I'm supposed to pass along a message to those that are watching right now. There's 2 of you, which is, Thomas, you haven't liked, or it hasn't stuck. Just saying, because those 3 were already there, I think. Just saying. I know you're enjoying it, but just for the, your due sake. Anyway, apparently, I feel like it's important before I do this next song to say not to give up on yourself, others, your abilities, and talents. I feel like, even though there's only 2 people here right now, one or both of you might need to hear that. We're almost 2 hours in, so whether anybody else will, and, quite honest, I needed to hear it too. And it looks like you both left. Thomas, are you still there? Maybe his phone died. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he's still there. We'll find out. But it was abrupt, but maybe he's just like, oh, but I know the way this guy can talk, though. He could just talk your ear off. And he seems, honestly, like he knows I'm here. He knows I prefer the music, because that's what I understand most of my English abilities. And sounds like he's going to do another song, but I don't know if I believe it. That could be what he's saying. Maybe he's just wanting to ramble. And so, but honestly, I'm not really. I'd really rather do a bit more music. I've got some things floating around here. Yeah, I could introduce them to a new song. Maybe he'll be back. But I will say, I've seen him in videos. Not that you can always have it, but I don't think he'd be as much for the thing. Okay, so next song. Um, I might do a bit of an intro to see if you guess it. The chords are okay. You left. Are kind of unique-ish. Now, what did I do with my pick? Okay. Before I start this song, though, it's like, how about you play one that, we definitely all know? Yeah, but it's going to be a hint or a clue. She says, so what? Well, I don't want to be too obvious too quickly. Um, and they still might enjoy the song. And, what, does it only matter? Don't take this the wrong way, my friend, but she says, does it only matter the memories that you hold? Or can we actually share in cherishing them as well? Because she says, this song that I would like you to do a little bit of, she says, it always made her happy to see people enjoying other people in general, but especially in singing. She says that, obviously she loved to sing a lot. It was part of her job, helping other people to essentially find or appreciate their voice and get it out there for others to enjoy as well. And she says that's one of the reasons why she loved what she did. And she says, you're very special to me, bud, and to all of us. And we're really enjoying our time here visiting with you. We probably can't stay a lot longer. But she says, I remember that. We're able to look back at a video and remember as well, she says, where the dance floor, I'll agree with you. It's not a super dancey song. But you had couples dancing, you had people dancing, you had people singing along. It was a great time. I have a lot of karaoke memories. But if we're talking about one of my favorite memories, uh, and you were in a lot of them, and I'm thankful for that, she says. But one of my favorite memories that I had um, as a host and with my friends, that day is one of them. She says, you just, you carried the song nicely. You had everybody having a good time. She says, sure, some of them may have been drinking, and it was kind of the environment for that, but she said, you know, what happened on that dance floor would not have occurred for that song if it had been anyone singing it. Or if you had, first of all, if you hadn't been singing it, but also, yeah, if it had been a lot of other people singing it. She says, I don't mean to brag about my friend here, but she says, he was a regular at the karaoke, and she says that, people appreciated his singing and his voice, as we all do. And she says that, so part of it was, oh, he's singing, I've always loved his energy, he's going to make this fun. Let's go help him. Let's go join in the fun. She says, I wouldn't be surprised if some people thought that. This is not him tooting his bugle, as he likes to say. This is me saying, and relating to it was the same way. But you could take, she says, honestly, bud, she says, you can take a average song, no offense to the original, and even if you're not doing anything fancy with it, just make it sing. And she's like, and I wanted to express that. I wanted you to remember and know that. And, you can have a beautiful Either way you will, but I hope it's, I know you don't have a lot of expectations other than nice chats, good time with G, some healing maybe, from the ceremony. Um, but we know that your one hope and expectation. We're tempted to tell you not to have an expectation, but we know that you're hoping that you will get to play. Don't think about it too much, bud. You know, to make it happen, you might not even have to try that hard. Other than that, like you say, you'll be there, you'll have a good time, and we just want you to never give up on your music and your dreams, or the music that you are wanting to do. Covers even, like, you know, because the truth is, bud, after this opportunity, you're not really not sure when your next one's going to be, other than on YouTube, right? And she says, you want thing, still says do everything. You always have that. You can make music with G as well, and so please play a bit of the song. Even if the person just left, we're here. No way. Sorry. It's rare that so many of my angels, I can actually sense them here with me, like I am now. I do really hope that tomorrow happens, even though today is happening how it's happening. I really do hope it, and maybe it will, and it'll be a different kind of party. Says today is today, man. Roses, yo. um, you know. Think positive, Kathleen says. I'm with my sister Kathy here. Oh, you're related? Then that means you're G's sister too. She's like, sister from another mister. But it's a right old party. I sense Chris, who never came to that place, but came to the other place like it. Roger, Lee, all of them, really. I'm sensing them all right there. And they're like, we're not uh, part of that. I'm not sensing loss. I'm not sensing loss. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Am I? I don't know. But some of them were not part of that other time or that experience, but I also associate it with another place where I used to go for Saturday jam afternoons at a cafe that then moved and became no longer a music venue, even though it was in an artsy kind of part of the city. A lot of art stores, in the summer, there's a festival that happens a lot in that area, a lot of it anyway, and but you know what? Here to enjoy, and nobody else really is, so that I could see. So I keep misplacing that damn thing. I guess it's true that it could, but I asked him, and he could have said if he was still here, and he didn't. So I'm guessing he's not. So it was a little bit abrupt, and I find that smidgen rude. But again, maybe his phone died. So he's like, we don't want to distract you too much because you probably want to be doing music. But it turns out I keep misplacing this thing, and it's not under the book this time. But there's one of the clips. Sorry, it's an important part of my, for lack of a different way of putting it, healthcare. Okay, there we are. So, but yeah, wow, that was a powerful visual. So not that long ago, Um, there's been at least some activities. Yeah, the most recent one. What you say? So I'm not sure what to say myself. What you're saying, but I don't know anything like that. Yeah, Mr. could be wonky sometimes, but then it usually fixes itself, so that's the main thing. Hmm. So does that mean it's a smartphone that's not a smartphone? Not sure what I'm referring to, but what? Anyway, gotta focus on my video. Maybe I'll see you there. Anyway, so I got a flash visual of three or four of them standing, smiling and waving. I already knew president. It is. So I don't know if I take it back or not. It's weird. This one says they want to hear their two sisters and two daughters' voices more often, but they aren't too talkative. Anyway, and I always remembered, even though I didn't know them deeply, at these music venues that I knew some of them from, if we weren't jamming at the one, at the other one there were some that, and once or twice they joined, one or two of them joined me on stage, but it was what stood out was just, I said it at the workshop too, the group workshop, I said, what stood out was just them acknowledging, I see you, I appreciate you, I appreciate seeing you. Um, hey, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm pretty good. Maybe sometimes we get into more of a conversation. Most of the time, I think we didn't. When they passed away, that stuck in my mind. It's such a small thing, but it stuck in my mind. And back then, I was more social. I would say I was more social. Really, I didn't. Not like it was sticking in my mind because, I really needed that and I just appreciate it so much. I mean, I always appreciate it, and I appreciate the connections, that I make with them apart. So, but no, it stuck in my mind, even when I was more, doing the karaoke, doing those open mics, doing the which are not as accessible, location and such wise these days, and the loud environments, for the most part. But um, going to groups, whatever it was, you know, um, it. And speaking of not hearing somebody not being very talkative, like George was a colorful character, but I don't know if I'd say he wasn't talkative. He just jokes that he has his moments. But I was like, let's start with the song, and then we'll go from there, okay? So, where's that pick again that I keep misplacing? I need to be putting in the guitar strings. That's what I need to be doing. I mean, this works. I'd rather have the pick because it doesn't have this red clippy thing in it, which actually I think this is the better way, although that's more flimsy. I just had it a moment ago. I'm sure it'll pop up, or we'll have to look for it for tomorrow. But yeah, no, Roger just wants to say, buddy, I just wanted to say hi. It's been a while. Um, I'm glad that you have good memories of me. And I'm sure a lot of us can could say this. We tried to live our life, integrity, and you know, just being welcoming, being says I'm trying to choose my words here. Um, and he says, first of all, you have a great voice. You do. Second of all, chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. I'm saying that. Secondly, he's like, I'm actually struggling to put this into words. Does anybody else want to try? Uh, you know, truth be told, we were like that with anybody, most of us, I think, right? There's a the chord is perfectly timed. I don't know it's not there. I think it's back. By the way, there is a certain, I don't know, likability. That's, I think, the word. That works. That's a word that we could say. There's a certain likability to you, man, friend. You know, um, you got that going for you. Um, you know, and um, like personally, and I'm, you know, may or may not be speaking for the others, but he says when we used to see you at those venues, you know what we saw? A friendly and familiar face. You know, and yeah, it's true. We didn't always stop and talk very long. You know, it's nice we can visit you now occasionally, but we just saw somebody that was friendly and familiar, and he says it's actually kind of amazes us a little bit how it stands out to you. We ain't judging you. We do kind of understand, but how that stands out to you. Because he says, other than what we kind of observe from up here since our passing, the little bit that we do, and we don't always make it known, but he says that what a lot of them remember is me doing music. And George was like, "Oh yeah, there were some times where I think there was sometimes where because he often played, later in the list, where he thought we weren't still there, but we were. So, um, and we just weren't in view necessarily, and but we heard him, and yeah, you know, we appreciate what he's doing with music. So I appreciate that. Happy karaoke clubs that are involved out meeting. I got a very interesting. I don't know. It's interesting that he shared it with me. Didn't just say I have to go visit, other loved ones, but he actually is being kind of specific, Roger, in saying that Jake's girlfriend is going through some stuff right now, and therefore they both kind of are. And so, you know, he says Jake, and you know, he's very much about like, you know, um, strong proofs. You know, it's not, uh, you know, I am thankful when I watch him. I was adding to what he shared with me upstairs. He's like, I'm thankful when I watch him that, you know, and you know, I wasn't really, you know, maybe you didn't know, but I wasn't really much of a churchgoer. But Jake, um, he he even though he's religious, you know, from a United Church, so it's like he accepts people. He tries to understand people. He sometimes struggles um, because he's very much um, in his own head. I mean, we all are, but he's kind of just saying, and then I'll do some music in a moment. But he's kind of just saying, you know, he's very much, you know, he's very driven. He's a very driven young man, he says, and he's you know really focused on his family right now, and he always has been. Family's always been important to him, but he says you want to talk about step parents. He says, "I'm sorry, bud, if you might be a little jealous." Now he's opening up. Speaking of this, um, he'd you know, if you might be a little bit jealous. Um, you know, we had uh, um, we had, you know, speaking of, you know, well, this is where my mind is also happening with it. And I was talking to someone the other day about somebody's family band, and you know, and he says we had a family band as stepsons and stepdad. We we did. We had a very lovely connection. You know, he says, hey, back to Jake for a moment. You know, he was very busy. You know, you know, he worked a lot of hours. You know, he was with his girlfriend a lot. You know, and other people, but that was something we always bonded over was music, as you relate to me and you have done. And he says, I just want to thank you again for that, by the way. I'm so glad to have known you in my life, and I'm so glad to have had the opportunity to do music with you. Um, you know, and to, thankful to say that I got to meet you in the musical community uh, that we both lived in. Um, but he says, yeah, uh, you know, he doesn't sense me. He says it as I say, it is what it is. I mean, I keep hoping someday he will, but you know, he is one of those people that's like, no, once you die, you die. Sorry, you know. Uh, and I think maybe it's it's you know, for him, it's like he wants to believe otherwise, but he just doesn't feel like he's ever he's not there yet. That's the point of the matter. As for his girlfriend, she's not really had a lot of experiences sensing the other side, but she's one of those. It's like, oh, that makes me think of so and so, or that feels like a sign from so and so, and this kind of that, and she's more open to it. So, you know, I have to leave soon to try and drop her some signs to let her know that I'm with her. You know, she says that I says I knew her, but I didn't know her closely. because they had kind of only been dating for a few months. But she's going through some stuff. If you can, you know, have some, you know, if you can, you know, I don't want to ask you to pray, but um, sounds like one of the things that she might be going through, from what I gather, is um, having had a miscarriage. Um, and also possibly another loss of a loved one. And he says, and as you know, whether it's recent or not, that kind of stuff is hard during the holidays. Um, she's also a little bit. So there's a lot going on, bud. There's a lot going on, and I need to be there for my family, he says. But right now I want to be here and hear you do a song. And there was two people very briefly there, and they're like, what is going on? He's like, yeah, so, if you would be so kind as to do that for me, and for all of us here, um, we'd really like that. We'd really like that. Okay, sir. You got it. You got it. I will send my hopes and ask others to maybe do. Again, for me, prayer is a hard thing. But what I can maybe say is that, I empathize with, like, they already had a kid. They did. But I empathize, I'm pretty sure I knew that. But I empathize with, with, uh, with, the fact that, I guess as a parent, not that I am one, they maybe get excited when there's a possibility of having another in this, crazy messed up world. But there is a lot of beauty in the world too. There is a lot of great things about life, and I can only imagine what it's like to bring somebody into the world and introduce them to all the things in life that are special, and and just the excitement that you get. Like, maybe it was, not that it hugely matters, but maybe their kid. I can't say much longer, but just saying. But keep going. I'm listening. We're listening. Maybe I guess I'm just talking it through a little bit. Not that I need to, but maybe their kid. But maybe I do need to, and I don't know it. Maybe it was going to be the opposite gender, and he's like, "You got it, man." He's like, "You got it." Uh, um, there is something. Some people say it's the opposite of this, and I don't know if I understand that. And then reminder also that he says that Sam's also going through stuff with his boyfriend, but he says he thinks they'll be able to work it out, but he just needs to kind of help nudge them in the right direction. He says, much like yours, he says, I accept, I'm not as religious, but he says, I accept them as my own. And he's actually sharing some stuff that I didn't know about. And, these kind of things happen, and we have to understand that they happen, and that, sometimes they're meant to be, sometimes with parameters they're meant to be, but he says, yeah, I have a son that doesn't really talk to me. He honestly thinks that I'm part of a biker gang. He honestly does. Can you believe that? He says, just because I drive motorcycles, and I'm sorry, to anybody who finds them loud, us motorcyclists, we kind of like that. We like the big, powerful sound, he says. But, at the same time, we don't mean to be you know, making it uncomfortable for anybody. But, you might be able to relate that when somebody doesn't either have a vehicle or a reliable vehicle, you get around how you can get around. Motorcycles was a part of my life since my 20s. He says, I'm sorry, I'm thinking back to how I passed away. We don't need to go there. But he says motorcycling was a part of his life since his early 20s. And it was how he often got around. Um, and even though they may be a little less safe than a car, um, he really did like the vehicle. He says, um, and he says, but yeah, so she was going to have a daughter, and you know, who knows how their young man, he says, how their son is going to identify as he gets older. Um, it's never a thing of grooming. He says it's never that. They have an uncle who's gay, who um, and Jake accept um, and show him the love of God. That's what they feel like they are doing. They are showing him the love of God. He is family, and even if he wasn't family, he says, I'm not a religious man, he says, but he says, we have to show each other love. It's you know, some people don't make it easy, and we have to kind of adjust how we do it sometimes. But he says we should always be, you know, holding love in our heart, and accepting that people are who they are. And sometimes that's not a bad thing. Other times it's a bit of a challenge. But he says, no, I love doing music with them. Um, every now and then we go do a sporting activity or whatever. Um, and he says, I was only their stepdad for a short time. They are young, younger than you or I, he says. And my time was cut too short with them. He says, because, again, letting you learn a bit about me, he says. It feels right to stay for a bit longer. So he says, letting you know more about me than you knew. He says, that we didn't dislike each other. And he says, I don't know about your situation very much. And you don't have to feel like you can use the word dad or use the word love to a step parent. You don't. We love when it can happen, but I would agree with the fact that if those things don't feel right, even a parent, like a biological parent, if they do not feel like if they do not give you feelings of I know it's very hard for you, but he says, it's the same with that song that I actually did hear you do the other day. He says, you can just be two people. You can be two people who are in each other's lives, where as it's comfortable to do so, just trying to make the most out of life. But yeah, with my stepsons, he says, I put the water on the other side. He says, I didn't really. Says part of it was my fault because yeah, I know I'm not showing that now because we all have our moments. But he says I was kind of a quiet man. He says unless I was singing, I preferred to listen and observe. And he says and tinker in the garage, and you know tinker with my bike, and and or go to sporting events. Yeah, and watch other musicians as well. A lot of things that I didn't need to really be that much of a social person for. But again, we all have our moments, and I just. By the way, I hope that you have a lovely season with those that you're with, and try and make the most of these winter days. Eh? But no, he's just kind of saying that essentially, I think he's trying to say that with his steps, you know, just kind of, he says, um, what's ironic is that I didn't know at first, but one of them had told me that was one of the titles, because they got a heads up, as did a lot of other. Well, it was a short video. There wasn't many people watching at the time, but and they're watching videos that probably are getting hundreds of viewers while live, or I don't know. The right people just don't necessarily find things, but he jokes, okay, well maybe we should all go then. But he says no. But seriously, and I mean again, I appreciate the YouTube community, of course too. But he says, yeah, no, I mean, so I just want you to know that like it wasn't all, and often it isn't with folks. He says it wasn't all relaxed, splendid. You know, um, and again, get along. That's the thing. And he says, that's something that we get past things quicker on this side, but it's something he had to kind of work through when he got there. Is like, the regrets of, well, maybe we should have tried to be a bit more. Maybe we all could have tried to a bit more. Um, but he says that you know they enjoyed doing music together. Um, I think they did 16 tons. They did. That's that's a good one. He says. I do have to really quickly run upstairs. Nobody's here, and I think I dodged one cat there. And you might get yourself up there. but I think it would be good to have that as an intention as well. As well, it's completely valid to think both. But going into the theme tomorrow, so I'm just going to really quickly. But yeah, basically, saying is that they bonded by doing music together. And he says he understands that some people aren't as into, they're not musical. And it's more than that, but how like my mother was that kind of, in response. Whoops. In response to that kind of thing. Uh, um, don't know how cool I'll be about it. We just want her to like us, so that maybe she'll bring us home. Ray pipes back in and says, "Oh, you don't have to worry about people liking you. When you connect with people in person, like I said, like your other friend here said, this isn't thinking on Beagle. This is us talking as angels about the individual that you see before you that we met in our life. Because there's a likable quality. There just is. So anyway, yeah, I get what he was saying, and that's what matters. Is that to know that you know it wasn't a perfect connection they had either, but that they found ways. Essentially, they found ways to make it pleasant. You know, um, like I could say, for nostalgic purposes, like you said, I could say, it's been so long since we're here, and we won't look at the bedroom, but, or maybe if there's something I can think of that I might want, but then my mother would probably want to try and help us find it, but it would distract things a little bit. Um, but she thinks I have a lot of the stuff already, like old high school yearbooks and certain photo albums, so I'm not really sure. Part of me wants to have the Christmas ornament that I don't even know where we got it from, but when Dad passed. But I understand her wanting to have it too. I really do. We honestly should have gotten more than one, but I was young then. I lived with her, so we didn't really need more than one. But we should have realized, and maybe that's something that we could still do. I mean, when not to talk too much on this topic, but when loved ones pass, sometimes objects, are quite important, right? They carry something. And I don't know exactly how one would do it. I'm almost thinking, what I'm almost thinking might be nice. Is just while I'm thinking to do so. There was somebody briefly there, they're not there now. I'm not much of an artist though, but G might have a bit more of a fine motor talent for that. Because it is very simple. And honestly, the only thing is that I would probably want to leave it on the table and not like pick it up in my hand because I'd be worried that I accidentally squeeze too hard and break the thing. You know, they're kind of glass and fragile and all that. Uh, but that's kind of cool how that idea just came to me. It says, you know, bud, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you, but my daughter-in-law is probably awake now. I mean, she does have the kid, but she had the kid awake briefly, and then she went back to bed this morning. So I was thinking, who haven't I seen in a while? And the answer was you, but she is very, very likely awake. I get that sense, so I'm gonna have to go. Um, so before you go, that's out to let you know he's drumming on the door frame a little bit. Da, da, da. Sing it along. And on that note, you know what I'm heading to go do? Have a great day, bud. Many blessings to you. Thank you too. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was playing a song I associate with two places. Holy smokes, the kitchen is a dance floor. If I had a strap on this thing, I'd be dancing too. I have a strap on that thing. I do. 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 And 100%, even though it drops fast. Let's do this thing. Woo, baby. Put the pillows there. Tell it out. You come down. You don't want to. Oh, I don't have a strap on this thing. Well, that's annoying. I was just getting in the mode to join the dance party. You know. Which means that I'd have to sit tomorrow to play. The strap is over here, is it not? Why it's not on there, I don't know, but I seem to remember it's over here, is it not? I don't remember moving it, other than maybe trying to put it on again. I don't think it would be on this little thing. I remember seeing it rolled up over here. I don't see it now, though. I remember tying a strap on it. Maybe it took it from there, because what good is it? Oh, here it is. See? If this hadn't all transpired in this video, I wouldn't have necessarily been as ready as I might like or need to be for the gig. I know standing is a hard thing right now, and that's why I think live streaming is really what I'm mostly meant to do, because I can kind of adjust and have that extra flexibility as needed. But you know what unfortunately is missing? But that's something else I saw around here recently, and I think I know where. Oh baby, here we go. Here we go. Wear what you're comfortable with. Don't want you to be overheated or warm. And okay, let's try this. Because there was a little bit of a leather strap. It's not there right now, but I think this will work. It's bigger than we need, but it is something. Not the easiest to get this on there though. Okay, maybe it's not that bad though. Testify to love, be the answer in silence, when words are not enough. For every breath I take, I'll give thanks to God above. As long as I shall live, I will testify to love. The valleys to the prairie, to the earth and to the sea. The string is a bit long, and so I've folded it. I have slight worries though, is that going to affect the sound of things? Like, I think it's too thick, unfortunately. I'm also not doing this very well. I think it's too thick. But honestly, though, is it that much thicker or thinner than and thankfully that pushes through good. Is it honestly that much thicker or thinner than what it would have been otherwise? And I don't even see how that was ever attached to it on either end, but it was. No, I don't think it really would have been. Okay, he's upstairs, so he's not going to hear if I have the door open. The others are still here. They're just chatting with each other like that. Party. Who said that? Which one of you said that? Oh, Chumbly says we're at a party. That Chumbly does. I feel like I need more coffee and tea. I run it there a couple times, tried to bring them down. You get one come down, you never get done. It's early enough in the day. And maybe what I should be trying for is to give myself a bit of a sugar crash. That way I have a bit of a early in the afternoon nap. It's only mildly sunny. And then I might still be able to later. And if I'm not, I'll rest. I'll try. You know, it is what it is. You know, routine is important. Flexibility also can be, right? But, put this here for now. I want the warm beverages. And most warm beverages have a lot of sugar or sweeteners in them, don't they? That they do. I think it's still early-ish. $10.52. Yeah, that thing goes for a long time. Okay, that's been charging, so it's good. Okay. Didn't mean to do that on camera. But we are 3 hours in, so nobody's here right now. I didn't really know I had to. I mean, it seems to be the case a lot lately, but. You're my sister now, eh? Glad you'll be up the top. Okay. Yeah, it's rare to feel this much motivation for them. I'm sure that they're always wishing to give it. I'm just not always sensing it. I'm not always in the mode. But once I got into it today, as is often the case. Oh, it's only half a cup, but that's okay. I kind of got there. So that would be a little less sugar than it would otherwise have been then. Okay, works for me. Or would it? Putting my hand up by the handle, not paying attention. It's like, where's the water? I hear it running. Where's the water? I don't know about having this going on top of the screen. I think it has to go underneath. It does have to go through, though, otherwise it's not serving the purpose. It needs to. I know that feeling sometimes. And I think it has to go behind. I have too much strain here. That's the thing. But we work with it. Work with it, baby. And if I do this in a certain way, it actually almost could be adjustable if need be. But the strap itself is. The strap itself is. So, I don't even know where this string came from, but I saw it laying around recently, and I decided to keep it because it looked like a good string, and now I'm seeing why I decided to do so. That's cool. Okay. Even with the door open, I'm finding it a bit warm. Initially, I got up because I felt like I wanted to move a little bit, join the dance party, and make tea. I think that I'd already decided that before I got up. So, oh baby, sweet. I don't smell it super strong. I might actually make it a full cup, only because I'm finding it a little too sweet. So I need to water it down a little bit. Do I need to heat it up again now? Not of course, but now it's perfect. It's just the top needs to be. And if that doesn't make me think of Clark and Hilda, I don't know what does. Oh, Chumbly. Oh, Chumbly. I don't remember that. I don't want to scald it. It didn't need to go in as long as I put it in. Some of them are just enjoying listening to me a little bit and enjoying each other's company and hoping that I kind of get myself together. But you know, maybe that this delay is also happening because somebody's meant to tune in and hear it, and they aren't available right now, but they will eventually make it here. So, could be, man, could be. Yeah, the chord pattern is not that exciting with this song, it's true. Okay, I'm going to come back in a moment, just making sure that's closed. And I should probably make sure it's locked, too. And yeah, we just need to figure out the medication piece of tomorrow. And we'll go from there. Well, I do want to use that bus ticket. I don't want to make it go to waste. As long as we have coins, otherwise we'll try the card thing, or yeah, it's actually kind of windy out today. I'll figure out. Like on the way there, you know, she's busy. She's busy. And it's just too awkward. It's not doing the 25th, which I know was Christmas. You know, sometimes she's give her short notice, but there's been a few times lately I don't want to. And she's got a great boss, and they sound like they have lots of fun activities. But I don't, yeah. That being said, if anything was stressful, then we'd be going to something enjoyable afterwards, much like we'll have an enjoyable, relaxing, peaceful night, you know, with the two of us, and maybe live stream, but we'll see, here in our house with our dog. But, you know, well, but then there's what happened earlier. No, but he's going to ask, because he's no, you know, I understand being curious and this and that, but he's kind of nosy. He's going to be like, what are you going to? Oh, pipe ceremony. And be on a cake. Okay. And I both think that he would know what a pipe ceremony is, but he might not, and I don't even know all that much about it, and I could just say that. I don't know, but we know what it sounds like, and he might think, oh, I don't really find that to be appropriate, you know. But, and then we make our own way back. But yeah, because it's early, I don't want to ruin potentially good time with my fifth. So I think we need to figure out our own way, and we'll figure it out. You go your own way. Go your own way. Now, didn't I put it in here? Didn't I? I'm really being good at misplacing things. Really great. Terrific. It's good to practice, see how this thing works. I think it works just fine, to be honest. Speaking of, you know what kind of works almost better, perhaps, is this kind of thing. I considered it. That's the main thing. I considered it. This feels like there's more to hold. I would do either one. Hi, Holly. This is not the thing. I'm very nice. We're just thinking for a moment. I'm not crazy. I'm just getting over my head. I just need to get I can talk to for all the other reasons and let make what I am waiting for. You do this for me, and I promise I'll make it for you someday. Answers, silver lining, then I'll go through. I just need a hand I can hold on to. Without me, takes me back to their time. I know things. Trying to stand on my own feet. Conversation of the misery. You are the only thing I could unify memories. Want me home, yeah. I can't be alone all the time tonight. Say me tonight. There's so much wrong going on outside. Ooh, ooh, ooh. outside. And you know what? Even though, well, I don't want to go in there with a stool. I just showed that I can do 2 songs, and if I just do 2 songs, maybe a third one sitting down, there's seats there. I'm not going in with a stool. What I might want is one now. Was there another song I had in mind? I don't think so, other than this one. And this is the one, believe it or not, as mentioned a little earlier, that I have a lot of memories in the dancing area of things. Some people say any song can be sang or danced to, and I agree, but I wouldn't initially think this one. But I do, and I hope you enjoy it, and feel free to request other songs. I've got some open on the laptop still. I've got some open on this book. It looks like the 2 or 3 of you that just tuned in just left. What's up with that? Or is that inaccurate? I don't know, but here we go. Woo! This is cool. Actually, it's kind of shiny. I don't know what it is. Put this away. Okay. Yeah, this is a little bit distracting. I can wrap it around if I so desired. Okay. So. I don't know if I'm calling this the grand finale. Maybe the grand finale for the kitchen session. And yeah. Like, you never know the beautiful moments that you might have. And you know, try and remember this too. Hopefully it happens. If it doesn't, people might just be curious about your music because you have your instrument with you. And, you know, G will probably play a bit of the flute because, you know, he has it there and by impulse he would. You know, I wouldn't want us to get in trouble. We should probably ask first. But if they have given us the yes to play anyway, I mean, we don't want to overdo it. But, yeah, and, you know, people might be like, is there a way that I can, like, check out more of your music? You do happen to have a YouTube channel. So, that's a great reminder, too, actually. I did play a little bit of this one a little earlier, didn't I? I think I did. What was it? How does it start again? I wish I could remember all of it. Mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me like the wind and the rain. Rock me like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. I'm gonna look up the words to that. I want to do it fully, and I am not remembering it completely. Even though it's not a challenging song. It's a bit of a mixy song to me. I mean, it mentions others in it, and it's just kind of a, but I do like it. My device is being a bit, here we go. Being a bit, here we go. No, I do not want the calculator open, just another thing. Let's see. Now is this one going to keep it zoomed? I think we want you to be at your full potential. So if you need to look it up, you need to look it up. No shame in that. I think it is kind of making my nose a bit runny though. Oh, either that or all of this is. Probably that, actually. I don't know if I should try and drink this cup of tea. It's a pretty manageable cup. And I'm kind of thinking that... Did that just register the click? It's being slow at the moment. Very slow, and I don't know why. Because it was being pretty good earlier. I do have the other tab zoomed, but this one isn't, and I don't have a lot of experience with that kind of thing, but I don't see why it's not opening. Open sesame, please. Oh, good thing it didn't fall from further, or we'd have another broken armlet. Really, we need to keep these in the door. That's where these need to go. A bottle falls out, even if it's in front of the milk, a bottle falls out. This out of place, I think, was a particular loved one that especially brought this powerful memory to me. No, well, I mean, it's always been there, but... Are you going to be good, Sonny? Because you just came down. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, I'm bored of that. I kind of want this, though. Oh, I'm having so much sugar. It's like we're having a bit of a party. Every now and then having a few extra treats. You don't need to feel bad about it. Okay? Okay. Okay. If you say so. Just trying to get this song loaded up. I've got another two that I for sure want to do, I think. For the most part, I'm feeling them. And you left, so you're not hearing them, I guess. Or at least it looks like you have. Why can I not zoom this? Is it because this one's zoomed? And if that's the case, because it should be zooming, I'll do this one first then. Okay. Hey, you gonna be good over there, honey? Yeah, promise, promise, yeah, promise, yeah, promise, yeah, promise, Nostradamus. I mean, the truth of the matter is, with my leg pain that I've been having lately, and that stool, it's just not very comfortable to sit on. I could put a pillow on it. I could. I also have to get it from the corner there. I'm thinking of that, but that I am. And I'm also thinking about oh, that's interesting. I'd forgotten that I moved the M over here. No, yeah, one Robin, but also the other one. I don't really even know, so it's all good. But also the weekend that I found out that they passed. It's something very unique I got to do. So that's kind of interesting. Because I moved it because I moved it actually because it was so triggering me. And then I just found it again. But you know what's that? It's a great reminder of that sometimes things that may be hard for us to remember or think about can also be special. Can also be like what this song makes me think of, like, you know, in times past, and like say camera, and you know, and also opening up of it with G, you know, saying, you know, we don't need one. We've got a perfectly good one. I'm not happy. I'm not getting jobs. I'm not happy. I have a feminine side. Here I am. You know, and it's kind of, you know, this is me. This is who I'm meant to be, a performer. Exactly. And maybe tomorrow, not that I have bad associations with this particular person, she's a different person with the same name, but it's entirely possible that, you know, It's just a step in replacing the fact that the person who I had a lot in common with, that I may have been distantly related to, nothing's really transpired from making that connection. She seemed kind of open to it, kind of confused and very distracted by her life, I think, and it's not happened. But, you know, and the other one was passed away. And we know that. So, you know, it might take a lot, but a step in the right direction is a step in the right direction, right? Now, this might still not be great for my back. And like I said, I'm not, even though we'd be going there on wheels, I'm not lugging that around. Sorry. We'll have a chair there if we need to. We'll use it, you know. I don't even have to play at the same spot, as long as I'm in the same room. Yeah, I'm actually kind of thinking silver bells and then that other one. And that would, you know, the Jason one, as I call it, that would make a lot of sense. Another Christmas one would be great, but I think some of my angels have, that's weird, the screen went out and came back on, but I think some of my angels have reminded me that, you know, not, you know, I feel like I'm too, but you know, it's a confidence thing, and they're saying it, not currently, but kind of earlier they were. It's kind of like, it doesn't kind of really matter what I sing. I most likely do it well. So, you know, there's no need to show off necessarily. In other words, you know, not that I was just going to be pretty natural, but like the big notes on Oh Holy Night, you know, no need to do that. Just sing. People will enjoy it. As they do. You know, I may not get out to do music very often to see that, but it's really nice to be reminded of that. So, accidentally missed the first verse. Make you smile. What is the first verse anyway of that? How we run like the sun feels around and around under my restless heart. It will all tonight. I am lost without you. Strangers learn to fall in love again. Strangers. I live for joy of discovering you. And oh, you stay by me. Circus life, welcome under the big top room. We all need clowns and entertainers to make us smile. I join space and time, always another show. time been? Loving you and it's not what it's supposed to be. But oh, you stand by me wherever you go. It's so nice to get as far as I did in the contest. I'm wherever you go. Pray for me. There was a bit of an error that came up. I got to go away. We're scrolling a little fast. And here we go. Oh, sorry. That's right. Well, still, we're scrolling a little bit fast. But hello, thank you. Thankful to Kuchi Kondo. So I played 7 or 8 songs. People either didn't stick around, wasn't for them, their phone died, so they came out for them, or they really didn't enjoy it. I really appreciate getting a chance to perform. I really do. More than more than they realize. I know I'm speaking out of my past struggles a little bit. It's getting warm in here, I tell you. This is a soft song. Maybe I'll open the door because the dog's being good. I just need some fresh air coming in here, to be honest. Okay, perfect. Is this window still open? A little bit? A little bit? Good. A little bit's all I need. And a whole lot of love. Still scrolling. It is a slow song, so I don't want to speed up the scrolling too much. It's like I went to start and play this song. I was like, oh yeah, I feel like I have to do this one first for reasons mentioned. So, okay. Here we go. I'm going to scroll it down just a little bit here. Okay, in your left. That's lovely, motivated. Thank you so much for stopping by for 2 seconds. You did see the guitar in my hand, right? Maybe they didn't. It's kind of, the lighting might not be that great, but it's all good. It's all good. This is not motivating, and I really love doing music for people. Like I say, I don't get to do it very often, so. I would hope that Thomas was like, okay, he seems kind of musical today at least. So, but I've seen him do one song and then ramble forever and ever. But also sing G too, right? So. Never was the biggest or the fastest guy. Can't go much slower than that, can we? So let's just. Never was the biggest or the fastest guy. Never hit a home run when the game was tied. I knew from an early age I wasn't gonna be doctor or the CEO of anything. So I sang when she believed in me, like fire on the mountain till it made my fingers blue. I tried to stand up from the crowd, but most times I just struck out on the grave. So I sang, I wasn't cool enough to be a ladies' man. It took me forever just to hold her hand. The first time that we kissed, we whispered, I love you. But I wasn't brave enough to say I love you too. So I sang, you're so beautiful to me. And I played every note ironically faithfully. The phone has to be charged, plugged in soon, just so you know. But if it drops, I will start again, and I'm glad to have you here. I love you with everything. I couldn't think of anything to say. So I say, I feel really bad. There was somebody there just a moment ago. I know the song is not that long, but there was somebody there just a moment ago. Then I said something, and they left. They're like, well, I was kind of getting into hearing that song, and then I hear you ramble. You know, it could have been that. It may not have been, but I'm still... It was at 100% when I went into the kitchen. If you've watched, you know, that portion of this, you'll know that that wasn't that long ago. But this thing just dropped so fast. So it would be his we use tomorrow. You know, we don't have to record it, but it'd be nice to look back on. You know? Okay, now be good. Sorry about that. You know, when you're live streaming on devices, it's at 10%, but hopefully it's okay. We'll continue from where we left off, and that'll have to be how we do this song. But it is kind of ironic that it kind of... Oh, now it's doing that stupid thing. Okay, so I'm going to have to wrap up, unfortunately. But I still kind of, even though it's not been super motivating, I mean, it's doing that thing where when it comes back to the screen, it just started doing this today, it comes back to a black screen. So I'll be starting again in just a moment.